power in this day and age. And if you are conscious, then you feel exactly where I'm coming from. To understand, and learn to overstand that at any given moment, things can change or happen.
Keep doing that. Being like, the dude that got choked out in Staten Island, he got killed. I went and watched the video because I heard about it, read the articles. I'm like, man, I couldn't watch the video because I was like, man, I don't want to see that.
With murdering innocent black men. I could be next. My brother could be next. My nephews could be next. They don't respect us. And we come together in numbers.
Peace, peace, family. We are back again. And today we'll be building on the war on the Black American from 2012 to 2016, right? Now, 2012 to 2016, this was a very, very dark time for Black Americans, right? I want to set the stage for those that wasn't there, right? Some of my audience is a little bit younger. That was just my speaker going off in the background. So, for those that wasn't there, I want to set the stage. Obama had got into office in 2008, right? And when Obama had got into office in 2008, many Black Americans were celebrating. They were happy, right? They were celebrating. They were happy. And even some white Americans were celebrating. And, you know, they were happy also just to see a change because coming off of Bush, you know, Bush was so bad for a lot of people that, you know, Bush had got us into the war and it was so much going on that people were so upset with Bush that they brought in, you know, it was even an opportunity for a young Black American, a mixed Black American, mom, father from Africa, mom from Kansas to come in, right? A Harvard student to come in. And many people fell in love, many people in the Black American community fell in love with Obama, Mr. Obama, Barack Hussein Obama to be exact, right? And this is when America would really show its xenophobia because, okay, I'll take you back even a little bit further, right? 2001, the bombs hit. I'm lying, I'm sorry, not the bombs. The planes hit. Part itself. The planes hit the towers, right? The planes hit the towers 2001, right? And Americans begin to put a lot of their petty little issues to the side, and American pride goes to the next level. People start hanging their American flags at the outside of their cribs, and you know what I mean? It was a real patriotic time. You see rappers and country singers going over to, you know, support the troops and all that, right? I had one of my mentors, my childhood mentors, try to keep me out of gang life, try to keep me out of street life. Perry, he was part of the military out of Dallas, and he got his unit got deployed. You know what I'm saying? He by the time he came back, his mom was gone from the PTSD, right? He'll never be the same, and our relationships will never be the same. And I would dive into the streets while he was gone, right? So mentors do help. Now, with that being said, the war on Black Americans from 2012 to 2016. So as Bush got into the war, right? Bush gets involved into the war. As time goes on, people start to realize that this war may have been more planned with a deeper plan than people may have initially thought, right? And they start to see that this war may be more of a jack move, right? More of a jack move because in the Middle East they was holding allegedly they was supposed to be holding weapons of mass destructions, but when the soldiers was over there, they never found the weapons, right? But what they did find was tons and tons of gold, tons and tons of oil and resources. Most wars historically have always been fought over resources, right? Over resources. And when you think of the Middle East, you have to understand that historically the Middle East is, especially a lot of it is mostly just Africa, right? And that region is known for being rich in resources and being starved at the same time by the first world countries, right? Imperialism that still goes on to this day, shaking them down. Now, 2000, so things are getting so bad that you starting to see, many celebrities rocking the vote or die, get out there and vote or die. You know what I'm saying? Katrina happened, Bush flew over, the planes flew over, blacks that was during the Katrina happened, and many blacks were stranded in New Orleans. The poor blacks couldn't leave New Orleans, so they were stranded, right? And Bush flew a plane over. So niggas was like looking at Bush like, yo, what's going on with this dude is wilding? He gotta go. And it was the perfect timing for Obama, young black Obama, to come in. And Obama did come in. He had the smile, he had the look, and he had the black wife. Right now, many people will tell you that Obama. Many people nowadays will tell you, hindsight 22 will tell you Obama didn't do shit for Black Americans. Uh, Dr. Umar is one of them first ones I could think of that loves to say that Obama did nothing for Black Americans. But I'll say this: Obama had a black wife, right, and black children, and he took care of those children. Dr. Umar got allegations that he does not take care of his black children, right? And Dr. Umar does not have a black wife. Just to let that sink. That's not the shit on Dr. Umar, but that's to say sometimes when you speak on other people, you have to make sure that your shit is cut too, because even though you say Obama didn't do shit for you, that's representation, right? Image is big. Image is big. So for the kids that was born after 2007, they got to see a black. When they looked at the TV, they would see a black president with a black wife and a dark brown skinned wife too, uh, with brown kids, right, in the office. So that's monumental, and that's something that Bill Cosby was trying to create with the Hustables, right? You had the real life Hustables inside of the White House for 8 years because, okay, boom, let's start there. So 2008, Obama wins, and then 2012 comes, and as I want to say this too, as Obama won, xenophobia began to kick up in America, right? First they was taking it for a joke. They didn't think Obama had a chance, but then when they started seeing the legs get underneath that Obama could win, and he did win, a lot of xenophobia and racism came back in America. It's hard to get away from your foundation, right? Your foundation, your origin, you can't get away from. So in America, many people began to see the xenophobia rise up in America, and the hatred will rise in America again, right? Like in the 50s and 60s, it would come back, right? And through that, we seen a little bit of it. I was a kid in the early '90s, but it has sizzled down for a little bit for the most part. But then by 2008, when Obama got in, the shit picked up. And to this day, it's still what you still seeing when you see the racism and the diehard MAGA and all this banging on blacks and black fatigue and all this. Some niggas is wilding, and niggas have gotten comfortable wilding out. However, a lot of it is the xenophobia and hatred that has still come from Obama being in office in 2008. And remember, 2012 and 2008, that's when Trump doesn't even get into politics if Obama doesn't get in office. That's how deep this shit go, right? Because as Trump was seeing Obama coming in, Trump was the first one to start coming with the allegation that Obama shouldn't run because he's not from America, and he wanted to see his birth certificate and all this, right? This what first time that people started seeing Trump really true colors as far as his diehard, uh, love for white nationalism and anti black man. Right, anti-black leader like Obama, he couldn't stand Obama. So this was what gets Trump in. So it's a cause and effect. As Obama gets in, the xenophobia comes up, which also brings Trump into politics, and that lays the ground for what we have today, the whole MAGA movement. This is all a product of Obama coming in office, right? So you had 43 presidents, and then Obama's the 44th, I believe. Maybe it's the 42nd. Let's stop and look that up real quick, right? While we're doing that, always remember, if you're reading a book, right, you come across a word you don't know, always stop and look it up so it can make sense, right? We're going to get this thing right in the exact 44th president. All right, yes, sir, we were right, yep. But couldn't hurt the double check. So Barack Obama, the 44th, right? And I think today is the birth, or was it yesterday, the birth of the anniversary of 444. Dealing with the fours. Anyway, July 4th coming up too. Wow. All right, now boom. Let's stick to the point. So this is all a product of Obama getting in office, right? If Obama never gets in office, then Trump maybe never gets into politics, right? And then we never have the MAGA movement. Gotta keep that in mind. So by Obama getting in, the xenophobia kicked up in America, which laid the right foundation for Trump to start coming with his spew of hatred and division, and would breathe air into the MAGA movement later on. But in 2012, in 2012, the election, 2011-12 election, Obama versus Romney, right? Obama versus Romney. R.P. John McCain, by the way. Those were John McCain represents the old Republicans that had class, a little bit of class and dignity, right? Now now dealing with Romney versus Obama. Romney loses to Obama, and when that happens, the floodgates open. Because now people was like, yo, we could deal with Obama for 4 years and we just get through it, but he won again. You know what I'm saying? He won again, and then it was a great pain that Black Americans felt for him winning, because since they couldn't necessarily take it out on him, they took it out on Black Americans. Right now, you have to always remember that secret societies, like the KKK, is a secret society, right? And the KKK has infiltrated many movements, in the police departments being one, right? This is old news. It's documented. You can look it up. So secret societies, and in 2012, many Americans really took out. Like Black Americans suffered because of this, because of Obama winning for a second term. Many Black Americans suffered and died within these 4 years from police brutality, and to this day, Black Americans are still the number one group gunned down by police, right? So not too much has changed, but in 2012, 2016, it was really a war on Black Americans due to Obama getting his second term. And it started off with the moment that Obama actually won. Ole Miss College literally had a riot. These are college kids, and the fraternity, right? And the fraternity is a secret society. As we know, these secret societies after college go on to make up job bosses and execs of companies and all that, right? So, and how Black Americans put their fraternities all over their cars, stickers everywhere. Many white Americans don't do that, right? They just go into the world, and they actually move as a secret society, right? So, you gotta keep that in mind. So we seen that these Ole Miss kids, these was college kids, teenagers, early 20s, and they were, about a crowd of 400 people shouted racial slurs, at Obama winning, right? That's how upset they were, shouting racial slurs and about that a Black man that got in office again. And then my intro to consciousness came in 2012, and that was about 13 years ago now, and it was one of the best things that ever happened to me, honestly. but it came at the expense of young Trayvon Martin, right? So I'm watching the news one day, and I was in the streets real heavy, and I'm watching the news one day, and I hear about the story of young Trayvon Martin that was gunned down by police in Florida, walking home with his hoodie on and a bag of Skittles that he got from the store in Arizona. Me and my man's Lonnie used to always go get the Arizona 99 cent joint, right? So I'm like, yo, damn. And I heard I heard the call to the dispatch, and they was telling this the neighborhood watchman, which was named George Zimmerman, don't, like, just leave the kid alone, don't even mess with him. But George Zimmerman's like, yo, I'm tired of these niggas, I'm tired of this, and he approached him, right, racially profiled him. Trayvon Martin was walking from his father's house to go to the store to get a snack, and walking back with a hoodie on, and he was tracked down and jumped out on and attacked. And when he was getting the best of George Zimmerman, the racist security guard that they hired for this neighborhood, the racist white Spanish, right, the white Spaniard security guard, he shot him. He pulled out a gun and shot the young kid that was just defending himself. Then he wasn't doing nothing but walking down the street back to his father's house. Right, this touched me around this time, and this is when I started getting into the knowledge heavy. My piece to Maurice put me on the knowledge, used to task him like the floor seats. You know what I mean? Maurice was the one that really introduced me to knowledge, and I could never forget him. You know what I mean? So young Trayvon Martin, this case really, really, really introduced me, because I felt for this young brother. I was maybe 1 or 2 years older than him, 2 years older than him. You know what I mean? But I can't remember. However, he was a young brother, and the year was 2012, and this really opened the floodgates of getting me into knowledge. And then, 2014, we had Mike Brown, right? Another black teenager is accused of stealing some cigars from the store in Ferguson, Missouri, right? And even if he did steal the cigar, some say he paid for it and he just snatched it across the counter. But either way, right? It's $1 cigar. He was pursued by the police for the cigar, right? And gunned down in the middle of the street like a dog, right? And they left the body there uncovered for hours, allegedly, right? This was in Ferguson. Darren Wilson, right? And I started seeing the hatred of it, because as this was a teenage kid that was just graduating. However, I started to see that nobody outside of the Black American community, for the most part, seen him as a kid, right? They were literally raising money for the cop that killed a teenage boy, right? That just graduated over a $1 cigar, right? So this was, I always knew the hatred that they have for Black Americans, but as you get deeper into consciousness, you learn, as like Dr. John Henry Clark would say back in the day, we had no friends, right? We had no friends, and that's a sad reality. But you will see, as you see these cases, even to this day, when something happens, you will see, no matter what, it's a lot of people raising money for the cop that killed the black kid, almost like he'll get rich for killing the black kid, right? And from donations. It's really sick. 2015, Sandra Bland was pulled over by police, right? She was disrespected and talked too crazy. She was taken into custody and randomly discovered dead in her jail cell hours later, right? And many suspected it was foul play, right? Corinne Gaines, 2016, right? She was met at her front door with gunfire after a 6-hour standoff with police over a misdemeanor, right? She is shot and killed. Her son is shot also, but he survived, right? Corinne Gaines, she was a conscious sister from Baltimore, and she she was aware, she was conscious, she was aware of all the hate, the hatred that was going on towards our people at the time, right? And she was getting deep into the movement, and she was taught she wanted to fight back. You know, she you get tired of getting bullied, and you get tired of getting bullied, and that was how she felt that day, and that that when they came to her door with guns and all that, it went left, but people was tired. This how tired people was at this time. You seeing turn on the news, another black kid gunned down by cops. Turn on the news, another black kid gunned down by cops. You get pulled over, it's your heart beating fast because it's like, damn, yo, this is gonna be my last time. Uh, Black parents is having the conversation. Had a conversation with your kid. That wasn't about sex. That was about, how do you handle yourself when a white cop greets you at the car. Eric Garner, right, choked to death by police in broad daylight for selling loose cigarettes in front of a store, choked out. Killed this man. We seen it. We seeing this shit too. This video footage of all this shit. We seeing this shit. So imagine what it does to the psyche of the people that seeing it, right? It's no different from when people say, "Oh, it's just a movie." Well, if I'm watching as a kid, I used to watch Roots, and I used to watch, Rosewood was always hard to watch for me because even though you say it's just a movie, I can identify with the pain that those people that look like me are going through in that film, right? So it's not just a movie, right? So and this was reality. These are video cameras catching this shit. Tamir Rice, right? Outside playing with a toy gun. He's 12. He's 12 in Ohio. A neighbor calls the police on him and tells the police, it might be a toy. I don't know. However, the neighbor was hella wrong for this, right? Police literally pull up. They don't even check the scene out. They just air out the kid, shoot the kid, kill him. Kill little Tamir Rice. At 12, he had a toy gun, right? Police didn't even ask questions. It was like a drive-by. We seen this. LeBron originally didn't speak on it. It was in his home state. And he got backlash, and ever since then, LeBron has spoken up for black injustices, and then now MAGA hates LeBron, right? But we gotta applaud LeBron for taking that, for saying fuck it, man. I'm not choosing to go to no disrespect to Michael Jordan, but I'm not going that route because Michael Jordan did a lot for blacks, but Michael Jordan did a lot for blacks in silence, behind closed doors. Right, he didn't necessarily want to mess his image up with anybody. He wanted to play it squeaky clean on both sides. So he just what he did, the righteous things he did for blacks, he did behind closed doors. Right, many people think Jordan did nothing for blacks, but it's not true. Jordan did a lot for blacks. However, he just does it behind closed doors. Right. However, LeBron James took the approach of, you know what, I'm not gonna do that in today's time. I'm gonna speak up for injustices, right? That affect Black Americans. After he got so much backlash for not speaking up for the Tamir Rice case. Freddie Gray, 2015, mysteriously killed after being in police custody, neck and spine broken. Right, got his neck and spine broke, being in police custody. Right, and we will riot, and we have riots in Ferguson, Baltimore, several cities going up in flames, right? That's because and this is sparking the youth. That's what I'm saying. I'm being sparked in the youth, like in the '60s. Young kids being sparked as they seeing all this shit going on in the '60s. I was being sparked in 2011 and 12. All through these years, I'm being sparked. I'm reading more knowledge on. I'm checking out every Dick Gregory book. I'm going to all the lectures. I'm tapping in. I'm down with I'm down. I'm more conscious than ever. I'm trying to clean up my mind. You know what I mean? I'm all about the movement at this time. And there was a lot of young brothers like me. And now we look up, and now we've been in this shit 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. Like that's how the time goes. But this brought us in. Around this era brought us in, right? Philando Castile, right? Castile killed in 2016 during a traffic stop. We seen this. We seen this video. He was licensed to carry. I believe he was an NRA member, and he told the police officer that he had a weapon, but he was not reaching for it, and he was still shot 5 times and killed in front of his girlfriend. And I believe the daughter was also in the car, right? So even with your Second Amendment rights, it's still a risk. It's still a risk, man. Alton Sterling killed in 2016 by police during an incident where he was selling CDs in front of a gas station, right? He was killed execution style for selling CDs at a gas station, right? And we seen this video also. Samuel DuBose pulled over for a bogus traffic stop, unarmed, shot in the head on video, right? It was over his license plate or some crazy shit. I remember seeing this and just, this assassination live on video. During a protest against police brutality in Dallas, Michael Xavier Johnson opens fire on police officers, killing 5 officers and injuring more. He goes on the run, right? This was the shooting in Dallas, right? At the, I believe it was like some Black Lives Matter rally, but, he started taking out, sniping police, right? Killed 5 police, injured more. He goes on the run. The police finally surround his whereabouts, right? They don't bring him in alive, though. They use a robot to blow him up, right? They use a robot to blow him up. And, this brother was ex-military, right? And he was you seen him running with Griff at times, like he was going to lectures, tapping in with Griff, because like I say, this movement was getting big. A lot of brothers was, really, really into the consciousness of this movement, right? 2014, John Crawford walking through Walmart picks up a BB gun that was inside the store, right? An anonymous caller calls the police on him, and he is gunned down by police who enter the store rapidly, like the SWAT. I believe it was the SWAT, right? Something like that. Them boys came in, no questions asked, no negotiating. Pah! Killed him, man. Sad. And we seen this. This was also on video, right? Dylan Roof, right? Dylan Roof, right? This touch home, right? Charleston, South Carolina, 2015. Dylan Roof, socially awkward kid, turned racist radical by way of the internet, right? Begins to hate Black Americans. During this, again, this is during the Obama's rise from 2008 to 2012 to 16, right? The hatred of all these kids that came in and began to go into what would later on become the MAGA movement, right? And white supremacist origins or organizations, right? So he walks into a historical Black church in South Carolina and listens to the message. They don't even check him at the door, right? You know how our people is, we welcome him. And he's welcomed in with open arms. And midway through the sermon, he raises up with a firearm and begins to shoot and kills 9 Black members of this historical Black church in Charleston, South Carolina, right? This was dark times. This was dark times in South Carolina. It really was. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this shit was hitting home for us. 2015, the KKK come to my city, Columbia, South Carolina, right? They was upset over the Confederate flag finally being removed from the State House, right? They run into trouble. And if you from Columbia, South Carolina, when we was kids, we used to, on the bus, if you was on Decker, you would ride by that Maurice's barbecue. They'd have a goddamn Confederate flag, and we ride by middle fingers up. You know what I'm saying? We always knew that was a racist ass place, right? If you from the Met, you know that Maurice's barbecue was racist as fuck. We had to ride by them Confederate flags. It's a mostly Black city, I would say, at least over half, but niggas had the Confederate flags up. They took it down now, but you know it was in your face. So anyway, the clan from North Carolina come down to Columbia, South Carolina, and they hold they shit. They hold a little clan rally about this flag getting taken down, right? And they run into trouble, right? Because on Facebook, I remember the Bloods, the Crips, the Folks, all that. We was all getting together, right? All right, we gonna catch these niggas, right? And you know, beat the dog shit out the clan. The clan got their ass dog walked that day. You know, it wasn't the best day for them. You know, they really got their ass spanked, you know, by the young Bloods, Folks, Crips, you know, just conscious niggas, pro-black, pro-African, pro-black, you know what I'm saying? All the niggas put a foot in their ass, you know what I'm saying? And that was a good day in the Met, you know. That was the day, matter of fact, that was the day I got my Beamer, you know what I'm saying? Because I rolled through that motherfucker just to take a look at that ass, you know what I'm saying? So, back to the point, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a powerful day for the Met, right? 2015, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Terrence Crutch is killed, unarmed, shot by white police officer who is now returning back to work, right? Many of these cops that was killed blacks, these motherfuckers was on suspension, like with pay, right? And then they come back to work, right? The cop who killed him was caught on tape profiling him saying, wow, he's such a big dude, right? He's such a big dude, right? Sick shit, man. Sick shit. Through these years from 2012 to 16, again, this war continues. Protest after protest, march after march, lecture after lecture, speech after speech, right? Key Scott, no charges against the officer. Walter Scott, this was another one in South Carolina, I remember. Chased for not having a license, shot in the back and killed. The cop lied initially and said Walter tried to grab his taser, right? When the video came out, we seen that it was a lie. The cop literally stood there and shot him in the back as Walter Scott ran, broad daylight. Sick shit, right? Jordan Davis, 2012, killed for playing rap music too loud in his car with his friends. A racist at a gas station shot into the car, killing him. He was only 17. This was in Florida, right? Playing rap music. 2012, Chantel Davis, gunned down by police, unarmed, NYC. 2014, Jordan Baker, gunned down by police, right? Mistaken identity. This black man did nothing. He did nothing. From 2012 to 2016, the consistent war continued on innocent black Americans. Way too many names to name. But hundreds of thousands of unarmed black Americans will be killed by police officers, right? Or wannabe cops like George Zimmerman, right? Toy cops, right? I'm rocking coming through in the Sprinter van. Then he get the spraying, you know what I'm saying? Boy, stop, you know what I'm saying? I blast on a toy cop, Zimmerman. Fuck it, man. Fuck George Zimmerman, bruh. For real. You know what I'm saying? But, right, this frustration of Obama winning again. They couldn't stand to see a black man in office again with a black wife, right? In the home that Michelle Obama said the slaves built, right? And we all know DC's architecture is built off of Kemet. It's all plagiarized like Kemet, right? So you gotta keep this in mind too, right? They don't like this shit. In his second term, many black Americans turned on Obama, right? They felt that during this war on black Americans, he didn't speak up for us enough. And I'm gonna be honest, he didn't. It is true. He didn't. I don't know. But what many don't understand is it was a war on Obama also. He received more death threats than any president in history. And everything he tried to do for black Americans will be met with resistance, right? It's a tough job, especially when you are black. And the thing about being a black president in America It's only one man that can tell you about it. And nobody else ever did it. How unique that is. He can't even sit down with another nigga and say, "You remember how you know how that shit was?" Nobody knows, right? But this man received more death threats than any man ever, right? I remember the police raided the police station in Ferguson, and they found racist comics that the police officers was sending to each other about Obama, about his wife. Caught, that all the MAGA be now, they be trying to say Michelle Obama's a man and Big Mike. They did it with Serena, right? It's the anti-black thing, anti-black woman. It's all this shit they be kicking, right? Joe Rogan them all, they kick that shit. Cartoon, right? Cartoon said to link Obama to dead chimp. The New York Post is standing behind a cartoon that some have interpreted as comparing President Barack Obama to a violent chimpanzee gunned down by police. Right? This is dark times. Right? I remember Jay-Z told Obama, like, just quit that shit, man. That shit ain't even worth it, bro. This shit is crazy. So 2016, Kaepernick, right? Kaepernick, who's been moved by all of the black police brutality deaths to find more knowledge about his blackness, which was hidden from him his whole life because he was adopted, right? He lived with a white woman, decides to use his platform to speak on the subject his people are facing, right? He's soon blackballed as a result and loses his career in the NFL, right? Run, nigga, run. High learning. Fudge, right? Run, nigga, run, right? They own this shit, man. He told him. He told the kid. He told him. He said, "Yo, we behind enemy lines, nigga. You can whoop their ass and all that shit. But they own this shit. They own this shit. They own this. It's they shit. It's they league. Tupac said it's the white man's world. That's what he said, right? Many black rappers in the past, like during the 80s and 90s, you had music that stood with the times, right? Fight the Power, and you had Ice Cube, Death Certificate, and America's Most. You had Tupac, Trap. Nah, they can't hold the black man down. You had black rappers that would speak up, and the music was used as a bridge to connect with the people, right? However, in this time, it wasn't a lot of that. You didn't get a lot of that because by this time, the mainstream had killed out most of that shit, and you got a lot of bullshit rap. However, you did get some great J. Cole from this era, some great J. Cole like "Free," "Wanna Be Free," one of my favorite J. Cole songs, and then you also got "To Pimp a Butterfly," right? To Pimp a Butterfly is a child of this era. This era. It's made in 2012, 2016 when the war on black Americans was happening. And that's what makes To Pimp a Butterfly so great, right? Because it was a stamp. It's a stamp in the time for what was going on. Just like it's a modern day for that era death certificate, right? During the Rodney King riots. So these 4 years from 2012 to 2016 marks Obama's second term in the silent war on black Americans. These 4 years brought in a new wave of black students to the conscious community. I was one of them, as I said earlier, in 2012. To this day, black Americans are still killed by police officers more than any other group in the country. And sadly, black American men still kill each other nightly in every major city in America, right? They also kill black children and women in the process. And it's sad because after all of this, we still have not learned that unity and peace is the answer. When we realize, right? So as the police is putting in work on us, as the police is putting in work on us every day during this time, we still putting in work on ourselves. It's a tragedy. But we just had a little more unity because when you get your ass kicked like that, you know, and it's public, you know, you kind of know who your enemy is, right? So yeah, so we had Breonna Taylor, you know, and we had years later after 16 we would have George Floyd, right, which would kick up more riots, and you know, sadly more hatred will come out of that, because now you see George Floyd is being disrespected just as much as Obama and Michelle Obama and all that, right? This country is really divided now by so much hatred and anti-blackness. They even have things going around called black fatigue, right? And it's the hate, the level of hateness, even through Twitter by way of Elon Musk, amplifying racist anti-black pages, has really made black men even more of a target, right? Our black children even more of a target than ever before.
Lord, live from the murder cabin, when niggas murder happen. Niggas and police ain't they burners at me. They bust shots daily. The dope boys be moving blocks crazy. The young girls is having babies and it just amazes me. Cause the abortion rate still through the roof. The archaeologists, they hide the truth. The Kemites left behind the proof. The biggest criminals inside the suit. Cause ain't no nigga from my block ever flew a plane and dropped a nuke. Make niggas distribute to make a living.